Or for a really romantic evening, you had to have a full moon. Now I know that that's the way people live lives in the movies. I live life for real, for me. I dress for me, too. And things that tell people I like being who I am.
Contempo Casuals. We think you look best when you look like yourself.
Yes, the definition of self-absorbed. Sorry for being late. That was my fault completely. I forgot to schedule a chat to start with, and then got lost in what I was doing and forgot it was time to go. Good evening to everybody out there. This is the Wednesday Night Mouse Party. I am DM Foss. And joining me tonight is Baron SVG. How's it going, Baron?
Pretty good. Just coming off the tactical quiz over on Gun Websites channel. We covered museums and we tried to stump the chump. So we were trying to, how did he put it? DJ, you were there. Help me out here, buddy.
I was there. I didn't win, though. I would expect that you being, like, what, second place? You got a patch pick out of that. That was a good time, right?
It was. Brain's not working.
Yep, the tactical quiz is a part of the Daily Gun Show on gunwebsites.com and gearwebsites.com on YouTube's. And Wednesday night is the quiz night. If you're a patron, you can join in and play. Or just play along out in the audience. It's usually pretty fun, and it's just before this chat. And how are you doing tonight, DJ?
I'm doing all right. It's great to be here for another Wednesday evening. Sliding into a Thursday morning. I consider it still to be part of the Wednesday programming day, which is a really brisk one on YouTube for me. So glad to be around, man.
And let's see who was out there. DJ was out there. Echo's Reloading Chamber. How's it going, Echo? PNW Woods, I sent you a link, so if you're going to be up for a while, you can jump in. And Caucasian Sasquatch, how's it going? And that's everybody who has said hello so far. So I had put out a poll. This week's poll, where'd my poll go? And it was, I can't see my poll. There we go. Best vacation. 31% said tropical island. 13% said Europe. 3% said Asia. 16% visiting different states, and 37%, the majority said vacation. I got too much stuff to do. That's usually where I am. Most of the time, if I take vacation, it's just to get stuff done around the house. But for me, I like, one of my favorite places to go is Japan. I haven't been there in a long time. And, I like Hawaii and tropical islands also. But I don't know. How about you, Baron?
I voted stay home. Don't have time.
And DJ?
I'm boring.
What am I checking in on, boss?
Oh, well, I guess it didn't matter. Let's go to the comments. Let's see what everybody commented, because your answer is in the comments. So TPC Cooks said, been to 79 countries, 16 islands, too hard to vote. But a fun poll. DJ Play Nice said, screw the tropics. For me, it's about an island, a temperate island. Who the fuck wants a sweaty vacation on purpose? Weirdos, that's who. And then a few exceptions listed. And I will say, yes, that can be. When I was in Guam, went swimming, then hung our stuff out on the railing of the hotel to dry in the sun, and it did not dry.
No.
We had to take it to the dryer at the hotel laundry room to get it to dry. Gun Website said, I don't need to go places to feel good, but I do enjoy the experience of exploring new gun shops and museums. So I went with other states. Night Shaft doesn't have to be an island per se, but warm waves and palm trees paired with cold beer is a great day. Calaveras 32 Special, mountains far away from people. Tactical Maverick said Maui takes care of visiting other states and tropical islands. TJ Mars, sleep and being left alone would be my ideal vacation. Quiet, dark, and cold so I can get a restful sleep and be comfortable. I can see that. Caucasian Sasquatch was responding to Calaveras, I believe it was. Said exactly what I was going to suggest, mountain cabin on a stream. And Razor JB, a nice quiet cabin in the mountains near some running streams. So thank you to everyone who participated in the poll.
I am a fan of road trips, but I just do ones that take a day there and back. I don't do overnight ones.
I like visiting places, but I don't really like being away from home.
Yeah.
So
I want to sleep in my own bed, not on someone's couch.
Yeah.
Or a hotel room. You're wondering how many people have that key?
Well, just
and how many people have slept in that bed?
If for those familiar with, he used to be Budget Guns and Gears, but now it's MK Journal Outdoors. Him and Roll Call, who took a road trip and found Motel Hell, like rat droppings in the dresser and blood stains on the sheets. And when he refused to pay and said he was leaving, I guess the people working the desk weren't surprised and gave him a full refund.
Was it a type of motel where you pay hourly?
It was like a Motel 8. But Mad Sexy was out there. How's it going, Mad? Haven't talked to you in a while. Michael Dunn. Good evening. There we go. Yeah, I do wish, I'd like to visit at least more of my state than I have. I know my wife kind of would like to, and my son, but I don't like being away from work, which I don't want to be at work, but I don't want to be away from work, because then when I come back, I have to fix everything that went wrong when I wasn't there.
Yep. That's a nice thing about being the only dependable person, though. They can't replace you very easy.
Yeah, and right now with a lot of people don't want to work because they make enough not working. They don't need to work. So it's hard to get people that want to work.
You got a bunch of openings at your work you can't fill? Or just people coming in and out?
A little bit of both. I know they were having trouble for a while. So, they kept upping the minimum wage, but that still doesn't really help. But it's just it's the way things are now. And then I think a little bit might be, because there's kind of a concept in business where if the business can get get something done in a certain amount of time with a certain amount of people, then you cut a little bit of something, like cut a little bit of manpower, and then say, okay, we cut this little bit of manpower, now get everything done.
Yeah.
And then you get everything done and then cut a little bit more, which it increases efficiency, but it makes it harder on everybody. So that's just kind of the, I don't know what you're going to do. But yeah, so, if you can and you would like to, get out there, enjoy the U.S., see the world. Caucasian Sasquatch says he's sweaty. He's growing mushrooms on his eyebrows. Welcome to Georgia.
Yikes. Yeah, I hate humidity.
Yeah, Echo saying he lives in Florida, so sweat is a part of life.
That's one thing that's nice about Washington. We have so many different types of climate zones here. Basically, there's something for everyone.
There is. It doesn't really get that humid for the most part here, which is nice. I mean, like if I go to Hawaii, or when I went to Guam, or go to Samoa, it's when you're first there, it's the humidity is like a punch in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But I get used to it pretty fast, and it doesn't really bother me. But the hotel has air conditioning, so that's a nice place to hang out.
Yeah, we hit 119 degrees last year, wasn't it? If you don't have AC, you're gonna be pretty miserable here.
Well, that short hot stretch killed a lot of stores' refrigeration systems.
Yep.
It was all the stores in our area. They went down, and then it was, there's only so many companies that work on them, so it took a while for everybody to get back up, and so you lose everything that's in your refrigerators and freezers, and then until you get back up, you don't have that, those perishables. But Michael Dunn was saying, I'm a forklift driver and manage a warehouse. If I'm gone away from work and come back, I need to fix and redo everything everyone else did. That's the way I kind of, that's the way it is for me. And I mean, I got bad enough for a while where it was, I ended up doing everything at work because nobody else was doing it right. And then it kind of got to a point where I couldn't get everything done because, I need other people to be doing stuff. So you just, assign tasks and then hope for the best. Woods was saying 55 degrees and cloudy is awesomeness. I like a nice sunny day where it's upper 60s, lower 70s. I think that's perfect. You can go out and do activities outside and it doesn't kill you, but you're still warm in the sun. DJ, this is stuff you can say out loud. You don't have to private chat this stuff. Michael Dunn is saying it's 57 degrees here. I'm not sure what it is here right now. It was raining all day. Yeah, it wasn't. It was kind of that misty, little bit of wind, where it's. I don't like that kind of rain. If it rains, I just want it to rain. Woods is saying sun is his enemy.
I know that a lot of parts of the country concentrate on their precipitation and kind of see it as in some places as an annoyance, or the
Yeah.
presence of humidity, say, as being annoying. And being from the Midwest, we really pay attention to rain, especially those who are interested in agriculture, let alone the farmers themselves. And in those hot summers that you're talking about, or those extreme temperatures, parts of my home state use center pivot irrigation. Essentially, that starts about a third of the way west on the state, and it gets increasingly arid until you get to the stand hills, as they're called here, and then transition over into Colorado and straight up into the mountains. And so rainfall is a really big deal. Weather patterns are something that are always talked about.
Yeah, for Washington, we've got the Cascade Mountain Range, which runs all the way down into California. Not sure if it runs, how far south it runs. But it's about a third of the way in from the west coast of the state. And all the rain is on that side, basically.
Yep.
Because the weather will hit the mountains and then drop all the rain. And so it doesn't make it to the other side. So the other side is kind of the drier,
Nicer side.
Western Washington has 3 seasons. Eastern Washington has 4.
Yep.
That was one of the things that I really liked when I lived in Eastern Washington, was 4 honest to God seasons. Snow in the winter, mild spring. The hot summer,
It can get hot.
Yeah, sometimes it was a little too hot. When I'd walk home from work at 6, 7 in the morning, and it's already over 70 degrees. That's it's going to be a hot one that day.
When I said we hit 119, that was in the shade. 119. That was like if you're standing out with the sun hitting you, you're cooking. You're going to burst into flames like a vampire.
Yeah, and then for Eastern Washington, the winters aren't too bad. It would only get for where I was in Pullman, which is kind of southeast Washington. The lowest it would get would be single negative, maybe like -10, but usually not much colder than that. So I enjoyed it, and it was beautiful out there in the middle of all the wheat fields. I had some nice pictures, which I don't know where they went, of just the wheat fields. And, there'd be days.
What did I just step into here? But that sounds like you were wading in pollutants.
Yep. It's really neat to watch the wheat fields when the wind would blow through and it looked like waves, on the ocean. Really pretty. It's just there's nothing around you except wheat fields. There's nothing, And when you get to somewhere, it's a small store. There is no, really no Walmarts or anything around there. It's been a while since I've been out that way.
Yeah, I've never been to Pullman.
I do kind of miss it. That's where I met my wife. So there's a lot of fond memories of Pullman. Mad Sexy is saying the hottest California gets that he's seen is 110.
Whoa. So we beat California? That doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. Well, every year we're a little more and more like California.
They're bringing the heat here too. That's
Michael Dunn was saying he was just there in Seattle. He loves Washington, pretty countryside. It is. That's unfortunately why there's a lot of like Californians that have moved up here. There's a lot of service members when they get stationed up here and get to love it, and then when they get out of the service, they'll move up here. We get the reputation for being rain all the time, which, there is a good amount of rain, but there's, I think,
Less
at
than there
least
used to be.
100 days where it doesn't rain, something like that on average. But summer, there's beautiful summers, and lots to do if you like outdoors and stuff. And then we've got 5 climate zones. There's desert, alpine,
Rainforest.
and most people, when they think of rainforest, they think of like a tropical rainforest, but that's not.
No, this is the type that you'll freeze to death in.
Yeah.
The temperate rainforest. That's one of the things that I dig about Washington State, and especially because it's the coastal portions of that, and straight up north into one of my favorite parts of the world in British Columbia, the intercoastal. I dig that.
When you get up like BC, Canada is beautiful up there too.
Do you remember that show Dual Survival with Cody Lundeen and what was the other guy?
Well, they had a few different hosts.
The original one.
Yeah. They
fired him.
Yeah, he's still doing stuff on YouTube. I can't remember his name.
Dang. Well, they did an episode in the Olympic National Rainforest. It did not look like fun.
Well,
your feet are never dry.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When you get under the trees, it's damp and mossy.
Yep.
I was able to experience that transition over the Cascades one year from Snohomish, crossing over on whatever state highway that is.
Probably 90.
Probably.
Isn't 90 the interstate?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking there was a state highway that
they're
dropping into. Go ahead.
Well, the interstates will also have a state highway designation.
Oh, gotcha.
But 90 runs the length of Washington.
Yeah, it goes through the 2/3 down, wouldn't you say?
Well, it starts in Seattle.
Yeah.
And then runs 90 runs through a bunch of different states. I forget how far east it goes. I think it might even go all the way to the East Coast. What's it saying? We have the only rainforest in North America.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I did not either.
Or at least I forgot. I
do know. I can never remember if it's the Snake River or the what's the other that connects to the Snake over in eastern Washington. But they have the same yellow mud that the Yangtze River has. And it's the only 2 places in the world that has that mud, I believe.
What is this? The episode where you're trying to brainwash us all into thinking Washington's so good?
Yep. Welcome to Washington. I'm getting paid by the tourist board.
I feel like we're in the pocket of big Washington here.
But I don't know. We're just, we're talking about vacation stuff and talked about the poll a little bit.
We should talk bad about Washington so we can lower the home values so people can actually afford to live here.
Well, when I would see Oregon plates leaving Washington, I would yell at them, "Good, leave, go, get out." Because the Oregon driver, everybody complains about, their own state and bad drivers, but the Oregon drivers are a pain in the ass. They're either doing 15 miles an hour under the speed limit or 20 miles an hour over the speed limit and passing in the right lane.
You talking about Yankee?
Well, he's in Washington now, even though he forgets.
Yeah.
But
yeah, how long has he lived here and he's still saying he lives in Oregon?
I don't know. They're a pain in the butt.
Ooh, Oak Harbor. That town has seen better days.
Oak Harbor is where I bought one of my motorcycles.
It's probably hard to drive when you've got them Birkenstocks on. So sometimes it's not even touching the pedal, and other times it's all jammed up and smashing the pedal down.
So DJ might have meant US 2, which also goes over the Cascades. It's a fun drive.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking up.
I've really enjoyed my visits to y'all state.
Stevens Pass.
Mm.
Great snow in the winter.
Yeah, I think Stevens, if it snows, they'll get the snow early. Because in the winter, they would close a lot because of snow. But so, G-Webs, you just came off the tactical quiz. How are you doing tonight? And Guns and Barbecue, how's it going?
Not too bad. Thanks for the invite. Sorry I was late.
Oh, it's no problem.
Barbecue was the first to stump G-Webs.
Stump the
Congrats.
chump. He stumped the chump.
That is why it's always a good idea to keep your U.S. Firearms Museum handbook close by.
PNW was asking if Washington was a gun. What gun? G-Web's gun website says staple gun.
It kind of looks like a staple gun, doesn't it? It looks like it has an arm coming off of it or something.
Mad Sexy was saying squirt gun. I don't know. I would say a hunting rifle, some kind of hunting rifle.
What was the question?
Winchester 94.
Yeah. The question was, if Washington State was a gun, what gun? What kind of gun would it be?
I've always found that gun shops here always have really good Winchesters.
Olympic Arms started in 1956. Teutonics was there from 1976 to 87.
I had
Arrow.
a Tonics once. Love that thing.
Yeah, you got Arrow. I don't have that one on here.
Wonder if they are still open.
Didn't Kimber or somebody wasn't, or was that Oregon or was that somewhere else? Idaho maybe. But I thought Kimber or somebody was in Washington for a bit.
Hawken Rifle Company. They're still making guns. And they are expensive.
Michael Dunn saying 30-30.
I don't know why, but I keep going back to a Colt Walker.
For Washington?
Mm-hmm. Just something in my gut keeps going there. I don't know why.
Low round count, and it'll probably blow up when you use it.
Yeah, when I was at Cabela's the other day, they had a bunch of black powder pistols. I don't know.
Were they still trying to make you do a background check?
I don't know.
I'm still pissed about that.
I was just looking in the case, but they're pretty. Some pretty handguns.
What were the prices?
I think they were around $350.
That's not bad.
And they also had a used Colt King Cobra. That was very pretty for $9.99. Yeah, I went. I bought a box of 300 blackout and a box
PPU.
of, yep, and 30-06, and was only $54 for the two.
What a good deal.
Yeah. I don't know, even with the, still elevated prices, I'll pick up a box of something just to make sure I have more of something. Uh-oh. Woods is mad at Aero Precision for some reason. Michael Dunn is saying California would be a cap gun.
Weatherby, maybe? Aren't they in California? There's actually been a bunch of manufacturers in California.
Headquarters, Wyoming. Although I think it was Weatherby. They have a shotgun they import from China.
Weatherby was founded there, but then they moved to Wyoming in 18. Sierra was made there. Armalite is California. So the AR-15 was invented in California. I think people have to admit that. North American Arms was in California for a small time. AMT, so the AMTs, there's some cool stuff there. Actually, an AMT would mean the Automag, right? 44 Magnum Automag, most powerful handgun in the world. So Hollywood and Automag, that's pretty cool. Calico are made in California.
Ozzy Osbourne's out there, barking at the moon.
And then, of course, the Ring of Fire. So I would say the Raven, City of Industry, original Raven would be an awesome one just to piss off California. Make that third state gun.
Uh-oh. Huh.
Ingram was born there.
There we go. I thought tonight we'd maybe go through a little bit of Gorn. We've done it once before.
Stuff sent in, or what's the deal?
Yeah. Stuff's. Oh, hang on. Let me get my ticker going. So you can submit Gorn, or if you have suggestions or comments, you can send them to untacticalfoss@gmail.com, which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And yeah, all the stuff that I forget to do, even though DJ, thank you for reminding me, and then I immediately forgot. So hit the like button, if you wouldn't mind, and comment. And if you watch this in replay, leave a comment. I always read the comments, and I appreciate them. So if you have something to say about anything we talked about, we can kind of keep the conversation going. And in the description is a link to the overnight Discord. It's a place to kind of hang out, chit chat, have fun, share pictures, whatever, Yeah.
Make suggestions for future shows also.
Yep.
That's how we talk about topics.
If anybody ever has suggestions for future topics, like for the overnight, the more seriouser show, you can email me, or if you're on the Discord, leave it in the Discord. I'm always open to suggestions. It's that much less work that I have to do.
Yeah, I think the Gorn episode was a suggestion, wasn't it?
It might have been. I don't remember. That was a while ago.
Yeah, somebody asked us when we were doing Gorn again. I don't remember who it was.
For Woods, let me real quick here. I'll resend you the link. There you go. So I sent you another one, Woods. But now, where was I? Share that, do that, and then click on that.
I would show some of my guns. Add sexy. If Washington wasn't starting to ban everything I own on a regular basis.
And
makes it interesting.
We're not sure exactly where we left off, so we might have seen some of these in the past, but I don't know. We'll see them again. The Night Shaft, his 69 rifle.
I'm sure that number was just a coincidence. Very nice gun.
And some of it.
Is that the same one, just without the number?
Looks like it. Pre-painted there, the one on the right. And then it's M&P, a Glock and a Glock. And I can't zoom in any farther than this. Sorry, everybody.
Is that a 19 and a 17?
It might be his 20 on the bottom.
Oh.
And I can't quite see the numbers.
So while we're looking at Glocks, a Trump edition Glock, I think it's a 19.
Yeah.
Do you guys see that somehow gaining like a collector value in the future?
Yes, if it's used to assassinate someone.
Yeah,
I have one of those. I have one of those. I have one of those Trump $100,000 bills I picked up at a gun show. I'm hoping that picks up some steam.
I think the Trump Deagle would probably go up. I don't know about a Glock.
Anything that's a certain commemorative has the potential, but it requires all the others to be gone and then some interest in it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, so there's a lot of ifs there. So I can't imagine spending. The only way I would get any kind of commemorative personally is if someone else bought it, took all the depreciation, sold it in a fire sale to somebody else who then decided to sell it to me at less than they paid. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't want this stuff in case of like last effort, because it's usually not good stuff that they start with. You know what I mean? They rarely go, oh, we're making a run of 100 things. Let's make the fine handcrafted. They're usually like, oh, take all those blemishes and start carving in them, because no one's going to see the blemishes after you carve into them.
Hacho Fed is saying, just wait for the Trump NFT.
Yeah. But no, a friend of mine had actually won this in a raffle last year. I think it was 2 years ago. Last year. And he's come on some harder times at the moment. And he's like, yeah, I want to sell it. Which I was like, it's a Glock.
What brand? Oh, a Glock. I'm thinking
Yeah.
1911 for some reason.
Oh, if it was a 1911,
Oh, no. I would
get it 'cause
totally buy that,
1911.
dude. How much is he selling it for?
He was like, oh, I've seen him going for 12. As like, you're not going to get 12 out of it. I was like, are you seeing it sell for that, or are you seeing it listed for that? And he's like, listed. I was
big
like,
difference.
what's the MSRP on it? And he looked up the MSRP, and he's like, $850. Is like, honestly, as like, I would, if start at MSRP and just offer to somebody, I was like, use the idea that, oh, people are listening for 12, so I'll sell it to you for $850 or $1,000, because people are going to try and haggle you anyways. I told him, I was like, I'm not that interested at the end of the day, because
I thought he was going to say 350 or 400.
no. But I told him, is like, because if you took it to a gun shop, you're looking at 60%, which, I mean, it's like $500 at that point off of the MSRP. I was like, and that's if they were to say, yeah, we'll give you
No,
the
that's if they
MSRP
want
price.
it. There's no
Well, that
guarantee
too.
at all
That
that
too.
they want it. It's almost an impossibility that they would want it unless they had some niche customer base that wanted that stuff. They're not. They would be owning that forever.
Yeah, throw it on Gunbroker.
Well, like up around here, honestly, I don't think they would. It wouldn't move like super fast, but they definitely wouldn't own it forever. There's enough sycophants up here that that gun would move easily.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, heck, when the election was going on, the number of people that were driving around here with Trump flags duct taped to or on a pole, duct taped in the back of their pickup truck was just, I was just like, you got to be kidding me.
Duct tape.
Yep.
I guess it works for an airplane.
They put them in the broom
Ooh, that
holder.
is pretty.
That is nice.
Is that a GP100 or an SP101?
Are you allowed to chrome up a Ruger?
I think that's just polished.
Polish up a Ruger, I guess.
I like those grips.
Does a genie come out of it to get polish a Ruger?
I think that might be an SP101. The
Yeah,
grip
the
on
ammo
it just,
says 38 special.
and the grip on it is very short, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just said it's not his, 'cause I think this was from Shafty. And then this Abomination.
Scout rifle?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Is that a 1903? Sporterized?
Something old.
Ugh.
It's weird that the bolt is at an angle with no scope.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I guess maybe to make the throw quicker or a better angle for your hand or something. Some of them bolt people can shoot really fast by keeping the trigger down and wiggling the bolt. Or riding the ball part of the bolt and then using their pinky to shoot real fast.
Yeah, you hold it with your thumb and index, and then you use your middle finger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to do it, but I've seen people go bang, 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 bang.
So I'm gonna switch here for just a second. Oh, did I do this? There we go. So we're gonna look at what was this, Telos?
It is. Yeah.
Let's see what DVDs Telos has.
Underworld, Independence Day, RoboCop,
Dread, Full Metal Jacket. 300. A-Team.
How embarrassing would it be if you had like a DVD of like the story of 9mm?
Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Predator.
Sucker Punch. I liked Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch is very good. Ultraviolet is an awesome movie. You seen Ultraviolet?
I can't remember if I did. I know I wanted to see it. I can't remember.
Ultraviolet. She's purple and she drives around on a motorcycle, and her weapons are holographic. So she has these bracelets on, and all of her weapons are holographic. So they freaking cool. It's a really
Do you see what
movie.
I see?
That's a good Godzilla.
I see an umbrella. Are we sure he's from Washington? He doesn't like getting rained on? I don't know.
Ghost. Oh my God! I'm closing this. Tello says Ghost in the Shell, the movie. No, that's no.
Which
No.
one? The new one or the
Yeah,
animated?
look like the live action one. So let's go back to the regular Gorn here.
It's a good movie if you haven't seen any of the original.
No, it's not. Even then,
It's
it's not. It's garbage. Hot garbage.
How do you know?
You know,
You're
'cause
already
I said
tainted.
so.
You've seen the original.
Someone doing a snow test on their rifle.
Is that a moist nugget?
Looks like it. He made it moister. I get that part. You know, I understand that. But if you understand the original, like the anime, they butchered it. Completely changed the story. It angers me.
Do you remember when I complained about Star Wars Rogue One? You told me something similar. It's just a movie. It's okay.
That wasn't me. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. No, I don't remember that. I might have said that. I say a lot of things.
You were complaining about me nitpicking. Continuity, schmontinuity. It doesn't matter. Coming back.
Well, Rogue One doesn't have anything to base off of, does it?
We just went down a rabbit hole.
I thought that's what this was all about.
Should we open the Rogue One can? Open that can up.
We'll save that till we're done with Gorn. Otherwise,
Okay.
we won't finish Gorn. Model 10. I kind of want a Model 10, or I really want a Highway Patrolman. Which there was one at Cabela's when I bought my Super Blackhawk, which I kind of wish I had bought that one. I debated on which one to buy, but I wanted the 44 Magnum also. So I went 44 Magnum.
No brainer.
I kind of wish I would have bought that Highway Patrolman instead.
Well, if you ever want to trade up to the Highway Patrolman, let me know. I might help you out.
And Tactical Maverick, a couple shotguns, M&P, a SIG, SKS.
Are those legal in California?
Don't ask questions.
I mean, he's got 5 guns there, but he only has 2 hands. It's totally illegal.
Hancho Fett saying he doesn't own a single working wheel gun. He was gifted several non-working top break revolvers, though.
They make good paperweights.
I love top break revolvers. I've got a Model 2 lemon squeezer.
I don't
Does
think
it work?
there's any requirement at
Yeah.
all. I don't think there's any requirement at all for a gun to be working.
I agree with that too.
Working guns are great and they're nice, but I definitely like having guns that don't work.
I got a question. What do you do if your gun works but is dangerous? So it would fire a round, but it'd blow up.
Save that one
you
for
just
last.
because the metal is fatiguing, or
Yeah, or
Parts
the
of
lock
mine-
work is bad, but it would fire.
so what's the question? Like, is it worth fixing, or
Well, yeah, let's say you can't fix it. Do you permanently disable it so it won't fire? Or do you just assume no one will ever use it if you croak and it gets
it's
sold?
interesting. I know people that would definitely have done that in the past, but I wouldn't even think to do that. So that's a good question. I don't know if there's an answer there.
Because I do have one gun where if I were to croak and they sold all my stuff and somebody threw shotgun shells in this thing, it'd blow up.
Yeah, but wouldn't everybody who knows what they're doing be able to tell that by looking at it?
Probably
I
not.
guess-
I
I
tried
guess
repairing it, and I did a good enough job cosmetically, but not
then here's what I
mechanically.
do, because we're gonna all get old enough, hopefully, to forget everything anyway, right? And then you're gonna shoot enough 9mm that you're gonna want to forget some of the things you've done. So write it on a piece of paper and roll it up and shove it in the barrel or some, equivalent, so that it's there. And then that way you forget. It's like, what's this piece of paper? Oh yeah. And then worst case,
That's a good idea.
what's up with that cross guns? That was pretty good. I don't like this
Oh.
whole idea of looking at tiny postage stamp looking things. This is 2022. We're looking at stuff like if it was like 1997 the internet.
Yeah, I kind of like that AR.
Who's this out?
That's
Does
awesome.
that help?
Discord?
Yeah.
No wonder. The 9mm of image platforms.
And it's got a 3-prong flash hider, so you get the nice ding.
Yep. Whoever posted that has good taste.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, look at that. Go from the AR to this.
I think that's a 2011 and 10mm. Pretty sweet gun. Rock Island.
I have to go take a shower after this.
I still think we should call it 1 centimeter.
Agreed.
How about just the centimeter?
Ooh, even better. Oh yeah, bearing around. I'm totally stealing that.
1917 with bayonet. I wish I had one that was not sporterized. But it is pretty cool to have a 30-06 that holds 7 rounds.
What if you call it the .39? That's what it is in inches.
Carry handle scope setup. Those I cannot find a receiver anywhere, an A2 or A1. Really wish this shortage would end sometime soon.
There's a shortage on AR receivers right now.
The retro ones. Because all they're doing right now is M4 flat tops. That's a good point. Somebody posted, maybe take a part out of the shotgun so it won't fire. Like take the hammers out, internals. Something like that.
I've got a shotgun like that was originally my grandfather's, who I never met. And I always told my dad I was taking it because the last time this thing was fired, one of the barrels blew back and burned off part of my grandfather's eyebrows because he was shooting at wild dogs in the middle of Nebraska in probably 1945. They knew it was during the war, but I have the shotgun now. But somebody pulled the pins out because if you tried to throw fucking real ammo in there, if you didn't know what you were doing, you blow that gun right up.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There's a nice gun.
Grips are awful, but
Yes, 100%.
I like the rest.
Those need to be pearl or an ivory. Well, faux ivory, obviously, but I'm thinking
It's a
pearl,
Ruger,
actually.
right?
I feel like even elephants
Yeah.
would want it to be ivory.
Mm-hmm.
You're like either an elephant or a walrus has to die for this gun.
I think
about
they'd be okay with it.
I feel like we might have to kill the walrus or elephant with this gun, but it would gladly sacrifice itself.
How about stag grips? Those are totally renewable.
That sounds way too green for me. No.
You ever seen people complain about that? Like, I can't believe you have antlers on your wall. It's like, they fall off, right?
Yeah.
You just find them in the woods.
Literally, we can go walking through the woods right now and find some. Let's go.
This
Yeah.
picture here to me just sounds like da 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 da.
I was just thinking A-Team,
Yeah.
where they can never hit anything, ever.
Love it.
Now I am so torn on stuff like this, where it's cool, but I would never have one in my house.
Do you have any kids in your house?
Yes, that's I think
that's right there.
I think is what changed it for me. If I was single, I would probably go for this all day.
My youngest kid's 27, so have at it.
Here's the question, though. Do you have kids that would know what a Nintendo Zapper even is?
My son probably would.
If you raise them right.
There aren't Nintendo zappers laying around. You're saying like the actual plastic thing. It doesn't look like it, but there's other ones that look way more like it. Whatever I got, a Glock 41 or something like that one is. They've made that one in that paint job, and it looks a lot more like the Nintendo one.
Yeah, those definitely make me go back and forth. But on the one hand, I'm like, well, if you ever,
As soon as it gets as big, it's heavy as shit.
if you educate your kids and whatnot, and make it known, hey, this is not a freaking toy. This is a actual gun.
So how's a kid supposed to know? And how's a kid supposed to know that it doesn't get told specifically about this one that isn't obvious?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Or I shouldn't say obvious, but it isn't standard.
I hate those grips.
What grips? Smooth?
Because somebody could look at that thing and go, well, that doesn't look standard. That looks like a BB gun, or that looks like something else, right? Because it looks so from the norm, like it's such a whatever.
Yep.
What's that one? What's
What,
up?
this one?
Whose is that one?
I think these are just pictures off the internet.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Because I was like, that's an expensive job right there. Does anybody like those melt jobs like that?
If you look at the barrel, the end of the barrel is polished.
That whole thing is melted. They call that. That's like old school, concealed carry. You would take it to a place and they'd whittle on it like that. And except that they also blew the hell out of this one.
I talked to a blacksmith about that. They said they could do that in 20 minutes. I really doubt it.
Well, they could do it in 20 minutes by case hardening it, but that's not what happened here. That's a chemical bath type of thing.
Well, no. They said they could do a melt job on
Holy
1911.
shit. Well, on an aluminum frame, I bet you they can.
Just throw it in their forge and they'd melt it.
I mean, yeah, if you literally just got that thing hot enough to melt like that, then it wouldn't be square anymore. It wouldn't be a working gun anymore, right? It would.
Maybe that's what they meant. Maybe it was a joke. They could melt it. They're a blacksmith. That joke went over my head. Or they're not knowing what they're talking about. One of the two.
I'll check it out, Honcho, as soon as we're done with this Gorin. I don't think we've got too much left here. I like that. I want a single action and 357.
And
That's
357.
bigger than 357, isn't it?
You and me both. Amen.
Usually smooth cylinders are big.
Yeah, it's a 45 or a 44, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I want a single action army and 45 long Colt.
What is that thing? Ruger, I guess?
Oh, it says
a bunch of stuff written on it.
It says United States
44
Arms,
mag.
44 mag.
Yeah.
Oh, it says United States Arms on it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do want one in 454 Casull also.
Nice.
Ooh, look at those.
What the
Feet. Goddamn feet. I don't know why people can't keep their feet out of pictures.
They're sponsored by sock companies.
It's a wood AR, so.
Did we just learn something about Foss?
Send
What
your
I
foot
heard is make
pictures
sure
to
your feet are in all
untacticalfoss
pictures.
at gmail.com.
Send them your pictures of your feet.
It bugs me.
Feet and guns. You're
I
gonna
should have
get a
cropped
lot.
that before I uploaded.
Oh. I like
Tail
that
hook brace.
I like the receiver extension.
Yeah, the ATF does not like these tail hook braces.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure
I figured that'd be one of the few they liked.
because they talked about them.
Yep.
I don't know. I haven't really looked at all that garbage, but if
Automatic.
you don't put a optic or anything on it, they don't care about braces, right?
No, they still do.
I thought it's a brace is cool as long as you don't make it for two hands and.
I think the tail hooks are an automatic 2 points. If it doesn't have an elastic strap or Velcro strap or anything to actually strap it to your arm, it's an automatic 2 points or something like that. There's a couple that are just an automatic fail.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
High score wins, right?
I'm against this, for the record. Then
Is that a Barrett and like what? Model 70? 30-06 and a 50 BMG.
America.
It's pretty. Pointy stabby thing. I like it.
What would you rather have, a M1 rifle or a 1903?
Ooh.
They're both 30-06.
1903.
Yes.
you can keep the Grands. They're too heavy and big. I want to throw threes. If I want to carry around 900 pounds of gun, I want to be able to shoot as far as I can with it.
I just like the idea, the original sniper rifle type deal.
Well, they were the original. Here, go kill a bunch of Nazis with this gun at whatever distance you feel like. Like they were stabbing people with it, and then sniping also, and everything in between.
I think I developed my love for the 1903 way back when I was a youngin playing Medal of Honor. It's actually
I got mine fiddling with them when I was a little kid, racking them or whatever that's called when you put them in a tripod and stuff like that. Fiddling with them.
Nice.
That's just way too many shirts.
Yeah, who needs
Need
that
more
many
rifles.
shirts?
There's just a gun shop, something range, gun shop.
I kind of hope it's just
That's a CMP.
somebody's spare room. Like, good for them.
Oh, that's the CMP,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the Ohio one or the Talladega one.
I think that's the North Store.
I went there one time when I was coming back from something, and it was middle of the night. So I technically been to the CMP, but in the middle of the night, and I drove by it.
Yeah, the shirt says Camp Perry, Ohio. So I'm guessing it's the Ohio.
That's a nice gun. That'd be nice to have one of those.
It
How
would,
does-
wouldn't it? Do you know
How does
anyone
one-
that's selling one?
No, I don't think they want to sell theirs anymore.
God damn it.
I was actually going to ask about that when we went in the off air.
You haven't heard anything. I had cash ready to send.
I know somebody's selling an old Setney or whatever.
You know what happened to the last guy that received a box of cash, right?
I do not.
Oh, never mind.
I just checked. The M1 is only half a pound heavier than the 1903.
All right. Have you never watched what's his face? Nothing Fancy. It's all about the ounces.
Well, no,
I
but
don't
that's the thing. They both weigh a ton. So if you're going to weigh a ton, I don't really care about having that thing go fast because it's just too complicated. Seems to me like everything about the gear end would chop my fingers off when I needed it to. Not chop my fingers off.
Ooh, look at that. It's a chainsaw grip for the saw.
That is that a saw? I think that's
I think it's an M249.
I guess it has a
Does it have a grenade launcher on the bottom?
Grenade launcher underneath
Yeah.
it, I guess.
Whoa.
See, this reminds me of the BFG from Doom.
You get some work done with that.
I don't know. I know people that really like
This is cool.
D-Day box.
Yeah.
I want to make one of those.
I think you said there's sand from each of the beaches
Mm-hmm.
in those files.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, June 6th is coming up. Flags make a pretty good background for a picture, don't they?
They do.
If they're not tattered and crappy looking.
Yeah.
No, I don't like them at all. It's against the flag code.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. Flag should never touch anything. Nothing should touch the flag. The flag should never be horizontal. The flag should never drape over anything. It should never be used as a backdrop for a photograph. It should never be used in advertising. Whales on the flag code. It's the reason you never see it anytime, except for individuals doing it.
LCP2. It's not very pretty.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but not my jam.
It'll work.
It's got everything you need.
And Shafty said this is ARPK.
You don't really see that made ever. Long barrel ARs.
Looks like a heavy barrel, too.
Looks cool.
I'm a fan. It would be cooler if it had a carry handle top.
There's a wire carry handle on the rail.
Well, I mean the A1 or A2.
Well, I think he was going for a certain look. So, yeah, and then with the drum mag, you're assured you'll shoot some before it jams. So I can stop sharing that. And let me go out here. AAF, American Ammo and Firearms, snoozing away in bed. And Vanessa Kitty was out there. And then Ozzy was working on another holster. Oops. That was the wrong one. I didn't start, so now I lost it.
Cowboy rig.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What caliber?
There we go. Check my emails.
45 Colt.
Wow. Yeah, we'll do it this way. So, cover for me. Chit chat while I'm doing this.
Would you rather have a BAR or an M1 rifle?
BAR.
BAR.
Or an M1 what?
Rifle. Garand.
Oh. Ours aren't that good.
And they're heavy as hell.
Yeah, they're super heavy and they're super weird. They look cool in movies because they never really use them.
Well, is there a purpose to this other than just having it, or is it just like,
shooting it?
Decide for yourself.
Yeah.
They're really big, right? Like I don't know what they're for. They have 6 rounds or something, and it's like shooting 30 six, like 6 times really fast.
An
Maybe
M1,
a round.
8 rounds.
Yeah, but an M1 is way less weight. And you can put a
And the
bayonet on it.
BAR is 20.
These are cool.
Bonnie and Clyde bar. I'll take the bar.
These are the pictures that Hacho sent.
Those are good
Hacho?
pictures.
Holy moly.
Whatever that
Weighs-
backdrop is, that's a good backdrop for gun pictures.
BAR weighs 24 pounds.
Nice.
And then let me call up the other one. The other picture.
Look at that.
Did he say neither one of these are working?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, you can
breaks
get
off
broken
revolvers.
guns like this. Pretty good. These are definitely the kind of thing like you were talking about too. Like if somebody just put rounds in there and started pulling the trigger like an idiot, like there's no way they're timed, and they may be close enough to hit the primer, but yet nowhere near the barrel, right?
So he was saying when he was working at PSA, they were given to him.
It's a horrible, horrible thing that happens to you when you work at a gun shop.
One is Hopkins and Allen, and the other is Secret Service model.
Hopkins and Allen, that's pretty freaking sweet.
Very nice. I like them.
Hey, it went away.
Yeah, I took it away.
I meant that.
What?
It's Woods.
It's a fan?
Oh, that's probably G-Webs. That's usually G-Webs.
I'm muted.
Oh. Oh. So I can tell you, let's see if it's Woods. Oh, it won't let me unmute him. I can only mute him.
That'd be a heck of a power.
Yeah.
Turn on someone's camera.
What I do?
Yeah, it's Woods. It's you. You can hear your fan or something running in the background. It's not. I don't think it's that bad.
It's only bad when no one talks.
I mean, I definitely have fans going in the background here, but I'm muted.
Yeah, Hacho says he kept them because every firearm needs a home.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got broken guns, but then I've got other things that are lesser than that even. So they might have gun parts in them, or they may have been parts of a gun at one time. But for example, like a stock that's cracked or broke, or something's wrong with it, like the holes strip out or something happens to it and it's no longer good as a stock. But like my dad would put like a dowel rod in it or a broomstick or something, and then like putty it in there and then paint it, and then it was like a play rifle. And then all the different versions of that kind of thing that people do with parts or with rifles that they're putting up as like wall hangers, or sometimes for plays or parades, like, you know, for show basically. So what about those kind of guns? What do you do with that kind of stuff? Or does anybody bother accumulating that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I keep it. It's a question of what do you do with it, though.
Because back in the day, it was cool to have like guns all over your walls. So people would like get an old weird shotgun or even those revolvers like that and have them hanging off of something, or make some kind of a wooden thing and have those guns as like the thing that they were hanging, right? But nowadays, it's not cool to have your guns hanging around. They're supposed to be locked up or blah, blah, blah.
Also used to see them in like restaurants and places more as part of, you know, curios that'd be up on the wall. And I've noticed some at local places absent now. rather prominent long barrel shotgun that I always liked seeing at a local restaurant when I was a kid. Perhaps a sign of the times.
I was thinking about plugging the barrel. So you couldn't change it or anything. What would be the best way to do that?
I think so.
Yeah, but how would you do it?
Cement.
JB Weld.
JB again. Nice.
JB World works for a lot of stuff.
I could put a spent case in. JB Weld it. That would be the cheapest way to do it.
That would look loaded all the time, and there'd
Yeah.
be no way to make it not look loaded ever.
Pull the primers out.
But still,
Yeah, no, unless, if somebody
caps.
doesn't really know what they're looking at, they
Snap
wouldn't
caps.
know.
You like the plastic ones?
I would say if you could get just a rod, some kind of rod, a dowel or the metal rod.
I
glue it in
definitely
there
like the
somehow.
Sorry, Foss. I definitely like the idea of making it reversible, whatever the alteration is. Because I know that I've chased after some things like, say, guitars, where if someone had not gone, so far in trying to demolish something, or at least reserve the pieces and parts to be able to put it back together, when enough time passes on the right items, a lot of hearts get broken when things get broken apart.
how about what DJ's saying then? You take and you put a piece of Scotch tape or tape at the muzzle, and then you pour a clear resin in there up until the chamber. And now nobody's going to put nothing in there, but if you shine the light through it, if it was a clear resin and it worked the way in my mind it would, you could still shine the light in there and even see the rifling and see what's going on if it was a wide, a big enough caliber. And then
12 gauge.
Oh, dude. And then what? They'd have to somehow drill it out. It'd be a mess. Would that work? You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that they make like a paperweight, or like, they'll give you a presentation bullet in it, like where they'll encase it in lucite or whatever, that clear plastic. You can buy that stuff for, well, back in the day, it used to be $30 to $60 a gallon. So filling up 2 shotgun barrels would be a quart, less than that. Maybe a quart. I don't know if that'd be an option or not, but it would be clear. It would be a little weight. Wouldn't be as heavy as some of those metal ideas. But I think with a 12 gauge, typically they're going to drill a hole through the chamber so that wherever the the cartridge goes in, or the shell in this case, drill a hole through there so you weaken and kill the chamber. Now it's it's very unsafe to shoot it, and then they'll typically put like a piece of drill bit or something in there, cut it, and then grind, weld it and grind it around so that something can't go in there, but you could still technically like see down the barrel, clean the barrel or something, use it in play or something and blow smoke down the barrel or something. So it's still kind of a useful prop or whatever, like curiosity thing, but then also ineffective as a firearm. But that kills it, like DJ said. That's not reversible. And some of that kind of stuff complies with international exporting and importing stuff. That's why you see some of it done like that.
Never thought about the impact of ITAR. Nice riff, G.
Maybe I should do this. It's a 12 gauge 9mm adapter. Just weld one of those in there. G-Webs, you'd like that, right?
That effectively makes it inert.
Yep. And it would definitely survive a 9mm going off. $30.
Is it really just the chambers are bad? Like the rest of the gun is good? That would definitely be a thing. You can get 22 inserts. Well, you can get any caliber inserts, but you get 22 inserts, and that definitely not.
Even better, yeah.
But something like a 38 or a 357 insert in a shotgun, that would still be a useful thing. It'd be fun at a camp or something, or just to play with. and it would definitely not be dangerous at all.
Ooh, 45 ACP.
There you go.
That's super low
the
pressure.
45, or I mean 410.
Mhm.
410, and then you shoot 45 in it, but that's a chamber, sub-chamber thing, and that basically creates a big, giant new chamber for you. Actually, you could probably just do the same thing to 20 and be safer, but taking it down to 410 gives you 45.
Yeah, I'll probably do something like that. Maybe super glue it in.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
even bother. Just leave it hanging in there. Nobody's, you know what I mean? Like some of them might take it out, but what's the odds they're going to take it out and shoot it? If it's in there, they're going to be like, oh, okay, I see what the deal is. This thing's old and this makes it usable. But there's a billion shotguns, like a billion shotguns. I've been into gun shops where almost none of the guns were usable, and they're still in there. People buy them, they have them for wall hangers or whatever. Even if they're $20 or $15 or something, they'll still have some value, so leave them on a shelf. So I wouldn't be too worried about, unless it's, I guess, worried about your specific people who are going to be dealing with it. But it just in general, I think most people who are gun people know when they pick up an old shotgun, be about 90% wary that it's never going to shoot or that it's not good.
I got a better idea. Get a 209 shotgun adapter for black powder. And then if anyone knows anything about guns, they'll see, hey, somebody put a black powder adapter in this thing. Maybe it can't do smokeless.
I like the idea of you using the sleeve where you can still shoot stuff out of it.
Well, theoretically, if I do the 209 adapter, I might be able to still shoot it.
Put a
Maybe.
spring and some flags that say bang. Bang.
Give it away to a kid at a birthday party. No, it's harmless.
Oh, are we winding down now?
Yeah, I think we killed the topic. Is there a B topic?
What happened to the Star Wars when it was getting pushed to later?
Oh yeah, Rogue One.
Now it's
Should we
getting
nitpick?
swept away.
So I don't remember the conversation.
I complained that the scene with Darth Vader where he goes through the hallway in Rogue One, we don't need to go into it. I think that lessens the lightsaber fight with Obi-Wan. That's supposed to take place like an hour or two later.
Wait, an hour or two later?
Or like a day.
Okay, a couple of days later, yeah.
I understand. I
You mean
get the
because
point.
they're not winging each other around and doing force chokes and stuff at each other?
Yeah.
There's no way that Darth Vader can go near Obi-Wan Kenobi with force chokes and whatnot. It's his boss, right?
Well, he was more powerful than Obi-Wan.
Well, I like the people, I'm sure everybody thinks that, and he might have been in that movie where he's in the fire planet, but by the time Star Wars happens, Obi-Wan's been hanging out becoming a master Jedi. And Darth Vader's been walking around being a jerk, right? Thinking everybody's just like, oh yeah, sorry, Darth Vader. Like he ain't been practicing his Darth Vader-ness or his Force-ness or whatever it's called. Dark Force or what is it called?
The Sith.
Dark side.
Dark side, yeah. He hasn't been practicing that. He just goes around
Well,
being Darth Vader. Everybody gets out of his way. Where Obi-Wan's been over there being whatever the equivalent of a Jedi Master is. So I think by the time they fight, it was a whole nother level. Because look, I think the big key of that is that Obi-Wan disappears in that fight. That's where Obi-Wan's like, see you, sucker, disappears.
X-Adam-1's out there working. Well, listening. What didn't when Darth Vader was on Mustafar, didn't he have basically dark side priests and stuff on Mustafar?
And Rogue One.
What?
Well, because there's kind of a religious part of it. I don't know all of it. I'm not that far into it, but I thought
Which one's Mustafar?
Mustafar, that's the lava planet.
Oh, okay.
That's where he had his temple. Basically.
Accident.
That's where they did the Monty Python routine.
Yeah.
Just a scratch.
So you're saying that on that planet, I thought the only reason they were on that planet was because they were getting materials off of it, and they just happened to go there.
Well, he was doing more on Mustafar, and I don't remember exactly.
You mean why he was staying there, or why he went there and got his limbs cut off?
Well, because Mustafar was he was there. Basically, that was his base of operation. I thought that's a poor way to put it, but he had something else going on there for him personally.
Originally, he went there to kill the leaders of the Confederacy, right? Newt Gunray, the guy from episode 1.
Yeah, well, some of this might not be canon anymore that I'm thinking of, because it's hard to keep track of what's canon, what's not canon, because some of the stuff is just from talking with people over the years and who have read, like some of the books and stuff.
Yeah, I just go off the movies. I guess now the TV shows too, but
yeah, I don't get that channel, so I don't watch any of the TV stuff.
But so basically, though, you're saying then that you don't like Rogue One because of the end is too much of like I don't know what to call that. Like how in what's the movie where Yoda goes nuts and he's jumping all over the place? Like that's the same kind of concept. And then in
number
all the
2
other
and number
movies,
3
Yoda's just hobbling around like a puppet. Yeah, that's kind of hard to.
I think it's a good movie. I think it's a good Star Wars movie. I don't think it's a good lead up to episode 4.
Well, the biggest problem when you're, and I'm not speaking of you specifically, when people complain about the continuity is these are written afterwards. So, the whole hallway scene kicks ass. That's the Darth Vader that everybody imagines Darth Vader being, which he's not like that in the 4, 5, and 6. Is it 4, 5, and 6?
I liked when he was an old fart that swung it like a baseball bat. That's my Darth Vader.
Well, part of that was just because of Alec Guinness. He, that's about all Alec Guinness could do. Swing from the hips.
You guys should just try my idea. What I just refuse to admit the first 3 movies exist, and then I just go from there.
Oh, you don't like 4, 5, 6?
Well, I like the original ones. I don't. The first 3 series are terrible. They're terrible movies. Come on.
Oh, episode 1, 2.
The go-kart movie, the Robot War, and the Lava
Gotcha.
Planet.
Well, those would have been so much better if Lucas had gone ahead with Jar Jar being a Sith, because that would have helped somewhat redeem that character. That's why he was so lucky, even though he's bumbling around, is because he was supposed to be a Sith Lord. But everybody hated him so much, Lucas kind of left him out of the movies from that on.
Likely to be voted the least popular in the Sith Lord class.
But, because he's the one that brings the vote forth to start the Empire. It would have been a much better storyline for Jar Jar. Still would have been annoying as hell in the movies, but
Then they bring him back in episode 9. They're like, he's still alive. He's the whole bad guy.
And then some of the criticism of Jar Jar, it's a racist character and all this. The guy playing it was black. Ahmad Best, who originally he was supposed to be him, and then he had some head rig, but I guess it looked goofy, so they went all CGI.
The biggest plot hole in all of the series for me is, so Anakin's a kid, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not super great on all of it. He builds a robot, and that robot ends up being C-3PO, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
So then later, when he's much later, and he captures him in what's the Sky City or whatever the fuck it's called. You didn't notice, he wouldn't notice that he built that, like that's his robot. Like if I built a robot as a kid, I'd be like, hey, that's mine. Give me that.
Well, it'd be like if you built a gun and then somebody changed all the furniture on it.
Well, because yeah, C-3PO ain't the only robot that looks like C-3PO, so he must get used to seeing C-3POs all over the place. How would he know it was his C-3PO?
Yeah, it'd
Well,
be like he built an AR-15.
In the Sky City, he runs into another droid that looks just like him, but speaks a different language.
And he's
Galaxy
silver or whatever.
variations. Yeah, where they're silver. Those are cool.
But-
so like he's a protocol droid series. C-3PO is just one of the protocol droids in that series, eh?
But I agree with you. That's bullshit. And especially the kid that built C-3PO is sort of like, what is this supposed to be? Like his force power is that he can like understand machines or whatever. Like he's not going to know C-3PO amongst all the other machines with all this force or whatever, dark force or whatever.
But see, for me, that falls into kind of what I was talking about, where these were written afterwards. So there's a little bit of lapse in continuity just because they're this, they need to drive their story that they're telling. So
And
not
it would be
everything
weird
can-
if they tried to address everything, right? Like if
Yeah.
they tried to nail everything down, it would be weird. What about the Jabba the Hutt walking around with feet?
I like the slug Jabba better than the big fat guy in the furry vest Jabba. And then the whole added scene where where Han walks on his tail, when they brought there was no reason to have that.
That's why I like episode 5 the best. It's the least messed with. They changed nothing in the special edition. It's the same
You
movie.
mean Jedi? No.
Empire.
Empire?
Well, just like background shots, like the Sky City, they added more windows and
Yeah, tiny stuff. But they didn't add any new scenes. They didn't change the way scenes look. Like people didn't shoot last that had shot first or any of that crap.
So,
That's
Baron,
why
why do
I
you
was
think they made
laughing.
that choice?
I think it was the best one, so they had the least work, quote unquote, to do to it,
Nice angle.
in my opinion.
Because by the time he's writing Empire, he knew he was doing a 3 sequel or whatever.
Yeah.
So he was writing it for potentially a third, where with the first one, there's all kinds of gaps and loose things and then things that he wasn't capable of because he didn't have the money that he probably wanted to fiddle with that was bugging him.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ET, the radios that the FBI guys have that were guns, but now they're radios.
Oh,
I don't remember that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he went back basically after. Well, they redid in ET where the FBI guys had guns. They edited out the guns and gave them handheld radios so that they weren't holding guns.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Did George Lucas insist on that?
It kind of seemed like after he adopted his kid, he changed a lot of stuff.
Okay. Going back to Star Wars. Somebody made a really good point in the Discord. Listen to this. Han Solo showed up on Vader's Death Star hours after Alderaan was destroyed. On his ship, he carried Vader's son, Vader's daughter, Vader's astromech, the protocol droid Vader built as a kid, the Wookiee who saved Akosha's life, and literally Obi-Wan Kenobi back from the dead. Vader must have been very... Who in the Mustafar was that fucker in the vest? Then, something like a day later, he sneaks up on Vader, one of the greatest pilots in the galaxy, in essentially a heavily modified 18-wheeler, and shoots him in the ass.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever hear the rant that is in the movie Clerks? So in the first one, they blow up the Death Star, evil's thwarted, yay. But Return of the Jedi, they're still building it. So who's fixing it? It's not like stormtroopers are out there. There's a bunch of people with good government jobs.
All the contractors.
They all die. Sorry. What are you going to say no to the Empire when they're like, hey, we're hiring your company to come build the Death Star? What are you going to say? No? It's not going to fly.
Yeah, how many people did Luke Skywalker kill in his campaign?
Probably a lot of robots building it, though. They can make them droids. Well, look at even in the first one with the go-kart movie, isn't there little tiny droids that are running around fixing things and doing stuff?
Yeah, they've got those little
The ones that curl up or pop together.
where you punch them in the nose.
Yeah. So there's, if you're making the Death Star, why are you going to have a bunch of people doing dangerous things when you could have a zillion C-3POs and R2-D2s and IG-88s doing it?
You're still going to need some kind of people doing something or other.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's not like it's just it was a long time ago. They used a lot more robots back then, I think.
Gunmetal Guy USA is out there.
How about that they come from a planet that's they come from a planet that's a giant city where all the Jedis hang out or whatever, and then they're like, oh, there's a moon that's made out of city or like robot or whatever. It's like a metal moon. What? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's too big to be a battle station. Or what was the line?
And that's no moon or something, yeah. But at the same time, they're familiar with a planet the size of something the size of a planet that's all city.
Yeah, but again, that was written before the planet city comes afterwards.
I would give him
Even
a
though-
break if he was writing a soap opera and he had an episode to do every day. But he had like 30 years to write a good story.
Well, yeah, but he did 30 years and he wrote the last one first.
Yeah. I do give him a hard time, though. He got paid millions of dollars. He can take a hard time.
Yeah, that's true. So how about this?
many?
What if there was no Star Wars? Would we all be sitting around talking about like Flash Gordon or something?
We wouldn't even be talking about Star Trek because it wouldn't have come back.
Like Star Trek when they had nothing to play off of?
Yeah, because they didn't they do the first movie because of the popularity of Star Wars? Or was it because of 2001?
Well,
When
I
was
don't
the
think
first
if
Star Trek
Star
movie?
Wars wouldn't have been what it was. Sci-fi might not have ever got the kick in the arm or whatever that's called, the boost in the arm.
2001 was, 68, 69?
Oh, I'm disappointed.
And it wasn't
Well,
a success. I thought it was sort of like a artsy film. It just sort of sat there.
when I Google Star Trek movie, it gives me 2009. $1979. So it came out what? 2 years after episode 4?
Wouldn't they both kind of have a symbiotic relationship? Because
Was episode 4 76?
77.
77?
They were shooting it in 76.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a friend that's a super big Star Trek fan, and me and her argue this all the time. We've done it for 10 years now. She keeps telling me that Worf could beat up Chewie. I'm like, you're fucking no. Stop.
Why would you even consider something like that?
He'd rip off his arms.
The real life actors, maybe.
I don't know how tough Michael Dorn actually is. He's just big.
Well, wouldn't Worf play fair? Like Worf would play fair, right? Chewie's not going to play fair. He'll poke out your eyes. He doesn't care.
I don't know if Worf would play fair, but they're both big and slow. But Chewie's bigger and stronger.
And he's been in how many bar fights has he been in where he had to save Han that we never even saw?
According to the Han Solo movie, he ate people.
So we're talking about Star Wars, but we just barely we're just adjacent to Star Trek, right? And then I go over and look at my YouTube feed right now, and there's a video from John Lott from an hour ago, and it says Star Trek Strange New Worlds, right? So John Lott has been posting a lot of clips from mainstream television where they're trying to shift the Overton window using weird plot devices to create narratives about gun owners or guns or stuff. So this one says Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I guess that's a new Star Trek series. It says World War III and the death of millions starts with the vote fraud claims. So in Star Trek, they're saying that World War III started when people were claiming voter fraud. I mean, it's not quite guns, but I thought that was interesting that John Lott, a gun guy, is throwing down that they're putting stuff into Star Trek subliminally or whatever on the sly. It had been a bunch of other gun stuff though too.
Yeah, Picard. They were doing global warming and immigration and Nazis. So they've always been doing current political hot button topics.
Right? You think that mirrors, or is that attempting to steer?
I think they think they're mirroring what's going on. In their mind, they think that's what they're doing.
I think the original series did more of that reimagining of modern day issues.
Yeah, like the Klingons were communist, right?
Yeah, the archetypes were absolutely there. And, as well as dealing with things like youth culture, there's a great episode where they're like space hippies, for God's sake. I mean, that's just telegraphed straight from the
ones that
times.
Go to the acid planet so that everything has acid in it, the grass and the fruit. Not get high acid, but like sulfuric acid. So it burns their feet and kills some of them when they eat the fruit.
Your first version sounded better than the second one.
At least I'd rather visit for sure.
Space hippies, where everything they eat has acid in it, had a different meaning.
And the inclusion of mixed race crew. That was something that Roddenberry found to be important. And you also have
the first interracial kiss.
Yeah, first small screen interracial. Yeah, absolutely.
The lady that played O'Hara wanted to quit. Literally, Martin Luther King told her to, no, you got to stay there because you're an officer on a TV show. We don't have anything like that right now. So keep going.
Michelle Michaels. Yeah, he went to see her to tell her to keep going. Excuse me. Gunmetal Guy USA says the Romulans were the almost acceptable Canadians.
Canadians are way nicer than Romulans, though. Come on.
What's that make Vulcans? The British?
Oh, that works.
Did I say Michaels or did I say Nichols?
No idea.
DJ saying Nichols, so I was wondering if I messed up her name. Nichelle Nichols.
She's still around.
I don't recall hearing of her dying, but that doesn't mean she hasn't. Yeah, I think Star Trek, other than Shatner, and
She's 89.
and I'm blanking on his name.
George Takei.
No,
He is still alive, though.
Leonard Nimoy.
no,
William Shatner.
no. Well, I already said Shatner.
Are you talking original cast? Huh?
But he came in, he didn't start with the show, but because Takei was working on Green Berets and they went over, so they brought him in. Chekhov.
Walter Koenig?
Yeah, Walter
I don't know how to
Koenig.
say his name.
He was good. He was really good, I thought, in that other show. I'm starting to lose everything.
Wait a second. He's not Russian?
No.
He fooled me.
God. Babylon 5. He was really good in Babylon 5. Head of the Psi Corps.
He's only 83. He must have been the youngest.
I don't think I ever watched Babylon 5. Was that
Basically, it's the same story as Deep Space Nine because the writer shopped it and they turned it down and then made Deep Space Nine as a ripoff. They took all the story plot ideas and then made Deep Space Nine out of what Babylon 5 was. I still like Babylon 5, other than the last season kind of, I don't know, isn't that great. But I still really like Babylon 5. But that might be why I like Deep Space Nine also, because I like them both.
I always wish that they talk about the Romulan Wars all the time, and like Deep Space Nine, like O'Brien talks about it, and all the stuff that they had gone through doing that, but they never had a movie about the Romulan Wars. I want to know more about that. I want to see big ass spaceships fighting other spaceships.
Now,
Yeah.
DJ, as I had mentioned earlier, you can say this stuff out loud. You don't have to put them in the private chat. You can join the conversation. You're more than welcome.
His father was a communist who was investigated by the FBI during the McCarthy era. Walter Koenig? Reading is hard.
I just lost what I was going to say. Oh, for Deep Space Nine, one of the things that I don't like about Deep Space Nine is it kind of started the turn where a lot of the complaints about what Star Trek is now, the new Trek stuff, where it's not Star Trek, because like the original Star Trek, they dealt with social issues and stuff, but it was a brighter future. You know, it was what man could be, and now it's all everybody's garbage. You know, and it's that hopefulness isn't there. And in Deep Space Nine, one of the reasons Deep Space Nine was made was because everybody complained about how Star Trek wasn't gritty or anything like that. So Deep Space Nine was kind of the response, was to give a gritty show. But then it kind of starts turning where that bright, hopeful future isn't there. You know, you get the section, what is it, 33 or 65? I don't remember. But
I didn't watch Deep Space Nine. So when you say gritty, like visually, or do you mean like the stories were more like mundane or something, like less grandiose, or like what is gritty?
well, like a lot of people getting hurt, and there's not the Federation isn't doing things. They have an end goal, but they're within that.
Oh,
There's
wait.
people willing to do whatever they have to do.
Deep Space Nine is the space station, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never watched that one. So, as opposed to Voyager and as opposed to
Next Gen.
Next Generation.
Yeah.
Because
It's
it
a
went
lot
Next
darker.
Generation and then Deep Space Nine and then Voyager.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine had plot lines that people died and that was it, and it wasn't shiny and wonderful at the end of the episode.
Even like Cisco, where Cisco in one of the episodes said they had I can't remember the episode exactly, but basically killed some people to get something done, which maybe they needed to be killed, maybe they not, but he didn't care because that was a way to get done what he needed to do, which he thought was
And he was like the captain of the show, like the boss of the space station.
yeah.
You know who's to blame for all this?
Hillary.
Who?
Jean-Luc Picard killed his wife.
Well, yeah, Cisco hated Picard because when Picard became Locutus, and basically that allowed the Borg to find Earth. The whole Wolf, what was it? Wolf
359.
Yeah,
Wolf 359.
Picard was a terrible captain. He violated the Prime Directive all the time.
They all did.
Number one rule.
They all ignored.
But at least Cisco
The
knew
Prime
he was
Directive.
violating it. Picard thought he was like all above board and whatnot. He changed the rules all the time.
Kirk would bang people from new planets.
I miss the original series.
Yeah, the first season and the second season kind of became Monster of the Week, so it lost quite a bit, I thought.
Would you rather watch the original series or the 2009 Universe movies?
Original series, but I'm a sucker for nostalgia.
No, I don't like the old ones that much.
Telos is out there.
How's it going, Telos?
We were showing some of your guns earlier.
It took me about a dozen times of watching the new ones before I was okay with them, and then I like them now, and now I'll watch them because the special effects is insane in the new Star Treks. It's goofy, and I don't like bunches of it, but I get over it, and the special effects are way too good.
Is that series done?
Oh wait, I'm talking about the movies. Are we talking about the movies?
Well, I mean the new movies series. Are they done with that?
Nightwoods.
I have no idea. That's why I depend on Never Enough Ammo to look up stuff like that, or other people that look up stuff like that. I don't know even where to look up stuff like that.
Which one? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
I think he said Obi-Wan Kenobi is coming out next week. The movie Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, the 24th or 25th, something like that. Let's see. Star Trek. See what they got going.
What did you think of? Didn't anybody watch the stuff with, I guess it's Mandalorian, where they show what it's like to be a sand people?
I
I
did.
haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Interested to see 'em,
any
though.
of it.
So only
I
Baron.
did not like that show.
Yeah,
Only
I mean-
because I'm not a Boba Fett fan.
Do they just complain about how sand gets everywhere?
No, they made it like, oh, we were minding our business having this planet that was so good, and then rich people came and took it from us, and they're mean to us, and rich people are horrible, or something like that. They made it into like this social thing.
For Telos is how do I get to join the chat? I will say I will send you a link next week. We're probably going to wrap it up here, top of the hour. So I don't want to bring you in for just a couple minutes, but if you want, I'll send you a link next week. Well, I'll post it, send it to you in Discord if you like.
But it's not necessarily always a Star Trek or Star Wars chat, right?
No, it's just kind of, we're talking about whatever we ended up talking about it. But, well, let me do this while I'm thinking about it. Where'd you go? Uh-oh, now I'm losing everything. I shuffled around my videos, and now I got to find what I'm looking for. There we
How
go.
the hell?
Gearwebsite.com for patches, stickers, t-shirts, and whatnot 2A related. It's gearwebsites.com. What were you saying, Baron?
Oh, they're calling it Star Trek 4. The one that has not come out yet. Which is weird because there's already a Star Trek 4.
Oh, there's a new Star Trek of the new Star Treks?
Yeah. Is it a movie? Is it a Kelvin Timeline movie?
Yep.
Oh.
They're calling it Star Trek 4. Should be Star Trek 14.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm nerding it out over here.
Well, and as much as I'm like, I like the new ones, they're neat or whatever, I'm not the one they kill all the bad guys basically with Beastie Boys music. So that's kind of
number 3.
You could say a weak plot. It's not a super strong plot. They basically just play the music in their spaceship and fly around, and that kills bad guys.
I kind of like all the Kelvin Timeline movies. They're fun, but they're not really Star Trek.
Yeah. They're just sci-fi movies.
And Star Trek 4 was Voyage Home, right? Isn't that the San Francisco movie?
Let me check. Yep, that's Voyage Home. Got to get the invisible aluminum to hold the whale tank.
Transparent aluminum. Yeah.
Yep.
I actually kind of enjoyed that one. I mean, it was so far out of what had come before. It wasn't trying to be so much the, fast-paced action thing. A lot, and didn't Nimoy direct that one? Or maybe he directed Search for Spock. I can't remember, but it was
he directed number 4.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
I love that movie.
Bunch of hippies out looking for whales. Whatever.
Space hippies. Wait,
Earth is going to get destroyed by the gigantic space rod.
Yeah.
Looking for whales.
Yep.
Only speaks whale language. Whatever. But, well, I think I'm going to wrap us up here. So, G-Webs, you got anything you want to plug here before we go?
Looking for my mute. Yeah, thanks for the link. Thanks for hosting. And, well, there's probably some stuff I should plug, but I'm tired. There's a on my screen right now, there's the Aiming for Zero shoot that Brooke Cheney's going to be in. And then I have a DC Project rally that's official, September 16th. We the People rally at the Capitol DC, Washington DC Capitol. On September 16th, there'll be a DC Project rally. So those are the two things I'll plug. Thanks again for hosting.
Oh, thanks for coming. DJ? DJ?
Yes. Well, barbecue split,
DJ.
though, I would like reporting. So since barbecue split, I would like to plug Amphi tomorrow night and his show on Saturday, also the Movie Q show. And thanks again for the invite, Foss. Be safe, have fun, carry your guns, and rock.
For those who might not know, Amphi is the almost nightly firearms expo. It's expo, right?
It is. Thanks for the assist.
On the Guns and Barbecue Network. Can somebody drop a link for Guns and Barbecue?
I could take care of that.
Thank you. And then he also, as his name would imply, does barbecue stuff on the Saturdays. He'll have a few panelists usually in, and they talk about different aspects of barbecuing. Baron, you got anything you want to plug?
Nope. I'm behaving myself. I got nothing cooking.
Spent half the show talking about plugging that barrel, but I guess now you got nothing to plug.
Well, could I even make a video on that? Or would that be against YouTube's guidelines?
Ooh.
That'd be modifying a gun.
Know. Yeah, that might get you in trouble.
I'd have to do like a before and a after, I think.
You start out modifying a gun, but halfway through the video, you're just holding a paperweight. So,
yeah, I don't know if they'd. I already got some channel strikes, so I'm not taking any risk right now.
Right now, for those who are on Instagram, my account is locked. I can't get into Instagram, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get back into Instagram. So if anybody has ever messaged me in the last week, that's why, because I can't see them.
They figured out you're clearly 12 years old.
Well, I submitted the document that they asked me for and then replied with, "I'm sorry, we still don't know if you're older than 13. So I'll give it one more try, and then they can go fuck themselves if that doesn't work. So,
yeah.
Other than that, coming up, not this weekend, but the weekend after. Is it the weekend? Is it this weekend or the weekend after? Which
do you want it to be?
When are we doing our next overnight?
I think it's this weekend.
It is this weekend. It is this weekend. Because it's the same weekend as Garbage Day. As the recycling. So this weekend will be the overnight. And I think I forgot to even think of a topic. So not sure what we're going to be talking about. We'll be talking about something.
It's a great opportunity for viewers to submit an idea. Because we literally have nothing.
Yeah. So if you have any suggestions, anything you'd like to talk about, go ahead and email me, or if you're on Discord, you can throw it at me in Discord. And other than that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been out there in the side chat, chit-chatting with everybody. Everybody who maybe was watching but did not chit-chat, still appreciate you being out there and watching. And for those who watch this in replay, really appreciate you taking the time to listen. Hopefully it's entertaining. And thank you to those who have been on the panel. Other than that, let me stop my ticker. And I hope everybody has a good night, a good rest of the day. Oops, that's the wrong one. I want that.